So we'll start by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. And try to
Good.
avoid slouching or leaning, but we also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position. Just allowing the body to fall into place. And we begin to concentrate our awareness on the breath by letting go of attending to the environment, concentrating on the physical sensation of the air moving into and back out of the tip of the nostrils. Noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration, lifting your awareness up from those distractions and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And when the mind feels more calm, we generate a broad altruistic motivation for our time. taking a moment to intentionally widen our circle of concern, trying to embrace countless sentient beings within the field of our practice. Recognizing that just like oneself, all other sentient beings deeply wish to be happy, deeply wish to be free of even the slightest negativity. But just like oneself, all sentient beings meet with obstacles, painful inner and outer conditions, again and again. And sentient beings are never really, truly, perfectly happy. We think that the most reasonable way of using our lives is to work not only for the benefit of oneself, but for the benefit of all sentient beings, working for the highest welfare, the highest good of all sentient beings without exception. I think that in order to be successful, we ourselves must become deeply familiar with the states of mind that support, that naturally, spontaneously give rise to beneficial actions. And we must reduce and ultimately eliminate the influence of states of mind that don't give rise to that beneficial activity, but instead give rise often to actions that cause harm to others. States of mind like malice, envy, covetousness, these different afflicting, disturbing states. I think that this process of inner transformation is the vehicle that we use to be of benefit to sentient beings. And I think that that's the purpose of our time, engaging deeply in that process of inner transformation. So then again, as we did yesterday, we will begin with establishing the visualization of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, understanding that the wisdom, the energy that he is the embodiment of is the result of the practice of becoming deeply familiar with the 8 verses of thought transformation, overcoming the self-cherishing mind. So we think at the level of the forehead, a body's length in front, life-sized Avalokiteshvara, made of pure white light, radiating rainbow light of white, red, blue, green, and yellow. Smiling peacefully, beholding you and all sentient beings in his gaze of compassion and love. I think he has 4 arms, The hands of the first two are joined at the heart, holding a wish-fulfilling jewel. The second right hand holds a crystal rosary, and the second left hand a white lotus. He's seated in the full Vajra position on an open lotus upon a moon disk. He's adorned with exquisite silks and jeweled ornaments, and an antelope skin covers his left shoulder and breast. And the entire visualization is of radiant, translucent light. I take a moment and stabilize the visualization, feeling strongly that we invoke the living energy of Avalokiteshvara, Shinrezik. Then we will begin to contemplate the third verse of the 8 verses of thought transformation. In all actions, I will examine my mind, and the moment a delusion arises, endangering myself and others, I will confront and avert it without delay. In all actions, I will examine my mind, and the moment a delusion arises, endangering myself and others, I will confront and avert it without delay. With this verse, we are adopting an attitude of vigilance toward the arising of these afflicted states, as we mentioned, like ill will, jealousy, malice, states that are born out of anger, attachment, ignorance. Not feeling any sense of complacency toward them in the mind, wanting to expel them the moment that we notice that they have arisen. So keeping a watchful eye toward what is actually happening in the mind, and trying to notice when the mind slips into anger, into attachment, when ignorance is prevalent in the mind is lacking in wisdom, discrimination, discernment. So I think over the last few days, past week, think of a time when anger or some other state did arise quite strongly. Try to replay that event in your mind, starting from before. At some point, you were just going about your day, and then something triggered attachment, anger. At the time, you might not have noticed until you were saying or doing something quite overt, but try to go back and see if you can point to an earlier moment. What is the earliest moment in the mind that some disturbance was present? And then think in that early moment, what could I have done to prevent the continuation of that afflicted state? What could I have reminded myself of? Could I have reminded myself of the kindness that this person, perhaps, that triggered a disturbing emotion? This person has been kind to me since beginningless time. Or Could I have done something to see a situation more holistically, not just fixating on the good or the bad? So imagine in this early moment that you noticed the mind slipping into affliction and you applied some antidote and play out that event differently using this antidote. And as you imagine that scenario, also visualize that light rays and nectars are pouring forth from Avalokiteshvar's heart, entering your heart, filling your body and mind with the wisdom to actually be able to follow through on this practice in daily life, purifying any obstacles in the mind to success in this practice of mindfulness. We make a strong determination to cultivate this mindfulness in daily life, to no longer tolerate the arising of affliction in the mind. And thinking that the delusions are the inner enemy, as Lama Yeshe says, the thief that steals our own happiness. I think we will cast out this inner enemy. When there's no inner enemy, then there's no outer enemy. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. We'll dedicate. So we recollect our altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, we've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in the mind. And we think that we freely offer the fruit of our practice, that positive energy, for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception, thinking strongly. When that positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment in order to work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Coral reminded me of the advice to recite some medicine Buddha mantras for His Holiness's surgery, his knee surgery, sometime soon, next couple of days, maybe this week. He's in the US now for that. And also our dear friend, Venerable Katie, who hasn't been feeling well and is the cause of you being stuck with me this past week. She's been not feeling well, so we recite also. She's feeling better, I know, and I think she'll be with you guys again soon. But so we will recite some medicine Buddha mantras, holding them and all sentient beings who are in need of healing in our hearts. So we can just do our best to visualize medicine Buddha and visualize rays of light and nectar spreading in all directions, touching the hearts of all sentient beings, particularly His Holiness, clearing away any obstacles to the success of his surgery, and Venerable Katie and all of those who are sick and ill. Tayato Om. Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi. Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Tayato Om Bekensi, Bekensi, Maha Bekensi, Bekensi, Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Om Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Taito Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Redutsa Mogate, so Tayata Bekensi Bekensi Maha Bekensi Bekensi Reza Samogate, so just feeling very strongly that the medicine Buddha has heard those recitations as the energy of medicine Buddha has been invoked, and the blessings of medicine Buddha are actually spreading forth in accordance with his vows. All right, well, I will be here tomorrow again, but then, which is the normal schedule, but I think we're back to normal schedule.